I'm very excited for everyone to be here. This is a very, again, exciting moment in Naturals history. I'm just going to get right to the point. I'm very happy to announce on behalf of our parent club, the Kansas City Royals, that Vance Wilson is going to be the Naturals manager for the 2014 season here at Arvest Ballpark. So let's give a big round of applause. Before I turn everything over to Vance, I did want to just take a quick moment and just say thank you to our departing manager. He's moving up to AAA Omaha to manage the Storm Chasers, Brian Polberg. He gave us 6 fantastic seasons, 4 playoff appearances, Texas League Championship in 2010, and I'm sure as Vance can attest, probably most importantly, helped develop a lot of players that are currently up in Kansas City right now. So again, just wanted to say thanks to him. We really appreciate the first 6 years under his stewardship, but very, very excited to have Vance here. And I'm going to turn everything over to him at this point.
Thanks. Can I put it on?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I got to text Danny Helmer when we're done with this and ask him to tell Chesler Cuthbert he lost his number. But you know, I just want to start, first of all, echo what Justin said. You know, Brian Polberg, Larry Carter, Terry Bradshaw, Nelson Lariano, Jim Brower, Chris DeLucia, Massa, and the strength guys. I mean, they built something pretty special here. So again, I would like to, for those of you who don't know me, I'm very emotional. And this is cool. I know you told me that. Practice all morning and then you get here and this happens. I'm a lucky guy. And I'm humbled that my friends and family would come to something like this. I'll get over it. Trust me, I've done this before. I would like to thank the Kansas City Royals, the Naturals, the Rich family, all their employees, Justin Cole, all of his employees. Obviously, I can't name them all, but I'll be able to. Usually get very close with the front office, so get ready. And Jeff, when you remodel, make sure you give me a door into the front office. But I'm excited to be the Naturals manager. 7th season, it's going to be special. What I'm most excited about is it's not a me thing. Is we just watched the Red Sox and Cardinals play. The Red Sox had Xander Bogaerts and Workman, 2 players that I managed against in 2012 in A-ball. The Cardinals, obviously, their incredible run is always fueled by young players. They keep moving up. And Ed, as we talked, being a Royals fan, the Royals are there. And Polberg and the guys and the Kansas City Royals, what they gave them in the Hosmers, Moustakas, the great pitching, the relievers, it's about this level is really what our organization's about. A-ball, which, again, I learned a lot. I really was fortunate to start in A-ball and not have to start in rookie ball. A-ball is about development, teaching kids what the grind is, what this game's about. AAA is really guys that are polished, they're ready. It's a taxi squad to the big leagues. But AA is really where you start to polish these guys. And if the Kansas City Royals have any plans to win a world championship in the next couple of years, it's actually this team in 2014 that are really going to help. Just like a Xander Bogaerts, a Waka with the Cardinals, Workman with the Red Sox. I mean, we really saw what the Kansas City Royals' future is and what this World Series is about. So, again, I'm very, very blessed. Again, I got to get on you, Mike. We don't go to your office to talk insurance. This game of baseball is what brings us together. And I've just been very lucky to be the variable that brings this community together with baseball. It's not, again, I know we love each other and we're friends, but it's the game. And I'm passionate about it. Did Poley do this? But again, I was very fortunate in '09 to come on with the Royals and come here kind of on a rehab deal. The one thing that's great about this game, my wife Bridget and Peyton can tell you, is it really is a great experience for family. I'll get to the winning part here in a second, but community's big for me. It's big for me to teach my players at any level that if it's not about the fans, when you get done playing, you have nothing. The fans pay your salary in the major leagues. It's obviously with some corporate, but it really, I learned in 2003, you can be playing bad baseball and the fans will love you. And you need to know that going into the major leagues. So our team will be a big part of our community. And really the big step in AA is polishing your players to develop within winning and teaching them what winning's about. And you don't ever talk about actual individual wins. What you talk about is preparing to win. And with the excitement of what we saw in the second half with the Naturals, I was very proud of my staff in Wilmington on helping those guys get here. But in the same sense, this is going to be an exciting team, and there's going to be a lot of prospects on it. Luckily enough that Scott Sharp, my boss, gave me some names to throw out as we talked this morning. But obviously, you never know what's going to happen. But Lane Adams, Bonifacio, who joined us, are everyday type players in the major leagues, exciting players. You take Cuthbert and Calixte, I don't know if they'll move up. If it's something at their age, they come back. You guys saw what you get in them, especially Cuthbert once he moved up halfway. Kyle Zimmer, you saw his what he can bring. You never know, obviously, again. I had a catcher in Parker Morin who's a young guy that can handle a pitching staff. And so just to name a few is relievers. We actually sent a guy here, Malcolm Culver, that literally got here the last day that somehow figured out how to get up to 98 in A-ball, and he's exciting. Andrew Triggs is a guy that came here. So there's all these names you start throwing out that aren't just fringe prospects. We expect them to be a big part of our major league team. And on behalf of, obviously, myself and the staff that will be here, it's a huge challenge, but an exciting challenge that I look forward to. The Royals' philosophy, obviously, is about developing from within. Because of our budget restraints, our revenue level, it really is about our prospects. We would love to go out and sign the big guys, but ultimately we've decided and realized we can look within our organization. And the good thing is the talent's here. So it's going to be a big level. It's going to be an exciting year. And again, on behalf of my wife, Bridget, and daughter, Peyton, we just thank everybody for the support. But ultimately, and they'll tell you, it's about the players. And even though everyone's excited for us, I ain't going to lie, I'm excited for myself. It's about our players. And that's what this game's about. It's a prospect-driven league. And we look forward to those guys coming out and contributing. Being a big part of this. So again, I would like to thank the Royals for this opportunity for me and my family. People, obviously, we get lost in the fact that, I'm home, and that's a big deal. I say it's a big deal. Come April, we may change our minds, but it is a big deal because this is a sacrifice for everybody, and for everybody to be able to be a part of it is really exciting. But then again, I'm excited to move up with older players. And ultimately, that's my wife and I talk a lot about it, that it really is my talents as far as a manager is polishing guys to be major league players, if not coaching major league players. And so I'm just very lucky, very blessed with that opportunity. And just, again, the season's a grind, the World Series gets over, and then you hear this announcement. I'm ready for spring training. Not that I want to skip Christmas, but I'm excited for spring training. So I'd like to open up to questions. Again, I'm sorry for the emotion, but as you guys see, I'm a passionate guy, and you'll see it when I manage too. So, thank you. Yes?
Question, Vance. What are your activities between now and Arizona?
I just got back from instructional leagues a couple weeks ago, and so now it's we may have some winter meetings in January. They don't really release that, but other than that, it's just kind of some communication with players, making sure your players you're in touch with them. It's communicating with the front office, but more than anything, it's a pretty dead time. And that is the special thing about being a coach or manager, is it's such a grind during the season and obviously a sacrifice. The Kansas City Royals are great about. My first year I learned, I got home and no one called me, where my phone rung off the wall every night, and they told me, we want coaches to go home, enjoy your family, enjoy your off time. So that is a special part. So there's not a whole lot. You know, it's funny, when I signed with the Naturals, I obviously was coming back from a second Tommy John. And my boss, Scott Sharp, our director of player development, we had the conversation before I signed that, you know, signing a guy at my age with double Tommy John's a huge risk. But I think they were looking at it because of my reputation and people that actually stuck up for me in the coaching world. They want to know if coaching was an interest of mine, and it was. Obviously, being a backup player when I played, I needed to work. You know, I would have to have a job. And so with the blessing, obviously, of my family, I knew I'd get into coaching. So I don't want to say that I didn't dream it or think about it. I'm a big surreal guy, even my whole baseball career. Even though I was a really good player in a tough time in the major leagues with the PEDs and steroids, it was all surreal to me. And this coaching thing is kind of the same deal. So that's kind of a gentle answer, but I could see it, but I didn't know if it would happen, and just glad it has.
What was the biggest thing you noticed as a manager?
You know, the one thing that came really easy was actually the in-game managing, and I think that's why you hear good major league managers or ex-catchers. You have to multitask when you catch in a game. There's so much going on, and that's really what managing is, especially managing in the minor leagues. Because we get caught up watching the play in the major leagues. In the minor leagues, you got to watch things that have nothing to do with where the ball is, making sure your guys are learning positioning and stuff like that. And so that stuff came pretty natural because I was pretty good at it as a player. The biggest thing you learn is you got to manage people, like anything else in life. And today's generation of 18 to 24-year-olds take a lot of managing, especially with social media and stuff like that. So the hardest part was just getting there and earning the respect and trust of the players and just managing them and getting them to understand that there needs to be an urgency to your career. This just isn't a graduation type situation where you graduate levels. There's got to be an urgency. So to me, that's been the most difficult part.
Have you heard whether Zimmer will start here again?
I have not. You know, again, you look at experience. You know, he's really only had one full year of professional baseball. And he was obviously shut down with a tired shoulder. And so I haven't heard it. What I can tell you is the guy's a dominating force. And when you have a guy like that, we obviously didn't sign him to win a Texas League championship. We signed him to win a Major League World Series championship. And so when Zimmer's ready, we'll get him there. Now, whether that's he starts here at AAA or in the big leagues, he's the real deal. And I was just lucky to have him as long as I did.
What's your goal? You worked your way up, now you're third level. What's your goal, and how exciting is it to get up there as quickly as you have?
Personally, you know, my goal, I would like to be a major league manager someday. I think that's something that, one, I kind of am built for. I've been very lucky to have the people around me to help me. I owe Tony Tiarina, who's our field coordinator, a ton of that, you know, teaching me the ropes as far as going from a player to a manager. My short-term goal is obviously I got into this because I wanted players to experience what I did. I was lucky to play a little over 8 years in the major leagues. I was on 2 World Series teams. And just being part of this fraternity, you can't match it with anything else. And I want every player to experience that, from the guy in A-ball who you know is not going to make it all the way to your top prospect. And so short-term is to make sure I have an individual plan. And I say I, meaning the Royals and my staff, and that we carry that through to give that player the best opportunity to go up and help us win World Series.
Vance, what are some of the things that you've learned from managers playing at the major league level that maybe you will have as part of how you manage the team?
Yeah, it's a great question. I played for Bobby Valentine, Art Howe, Alan Trammell, and Jim Leland. And again, you really got to watch what you say on who you call out on certain things as a player, and I'm very sensitive to that. I pull most of my managing skills, if you want to call them, from Jim Leland. There's a reason he is who he is. I learned a ton from him. Most of the things I learned from the other managers, they're really things I wouldn't do. And Jim's thing, I can call Jim and he'll ask me how Bridget and Peyton are doing. I could call other managers that they don't know my family's name. And even though when I played for Jim it was about winning a World Series, he knew how important it was that I knew he cared about me. Because then I'm going to run through a brick wall for that guy. And so I learned a ton from Jim. I learned a ton about gut feeling from Jim, and really relationships. This game is about relationships. If you're a great major league manager, Jim Leland and Tony La Russa, you might affect 7 games with an in-game manager move in 162. But if you're a bad manager, you may affect 30 losses, and that's relationships. And so, if you're prepared with all the numbers and stats, you have the players. Obviously, Leland will tell you, I'll take talent over good guys any day. Then it really comes down to managing personalities and making sure that athlete runs at a very efficient level when you need him to.
Is he someone you still kind of maintain contact with?
Oh, yeah. I was luckily enough to get really close with him when I played for him. Create a really close relationship with his son, Pat, who's a minor league player now. And actually, the day Jim retired, I called Pat, just kind of see what was going on, making sure everything's okay. But, yeah, absolutely. The sad part was, when the question asked about, did I see myself doing this, I could have really saw myself being on a Jim Leland staff, even though that probably was a lot farther from anything that could have happened in my career because of not me, but his age. But, it was a tough day. I think any player that played for him will tell you that. I got all my friends here and you don't have any questions.
Well, the press is here.
Yeah, it has to be censored for sure. Again, I'll finish up by just saying again, I'm an emotional guy. I need to probably get some medicine for it or something because it seems like any time as I get older, I'm just very passionate about what this game has given us, and it just means a lot. So I appreciate everybody being here. And again, it's not about me; it's about the players and Naturals tickets, right? Isn't that what it's about? Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, you can relax now.